James Wannis, this wine is next. Now this is from the producer Nik Weis. This is called Urban. It's a Riesling from the Mosel. Stay tuned and I'll tell you all about this wine. Fantastic, gorgeous wine here. Something to very much appreciate and enjoy, and I love the color, right? Orange. Probably, some of you who have been following me for a while, that's one of my favorite colors. This is actually, I love to know the color names in terms of hex colors. So I love this orange, and I wear orange because I think it's an exciting, fun color. The colorization here, I try to use in everything in terms of my PowerPoint, my graphics, and things like that. So this is, I think, like a hex 4000. And so I very much enjoy that. I would have this in every color if I could in terms of my clothing. And so yes, I'm mad about orange, but I'm also very much enjoying this wine. So I have reviewed previous vintages of Nik Weis. So I've reviewed the 15 and the 16 vintages. I'll place those videos right up here. I think it's a really thoughtful, gorgeous wine, and one where there's some residual sugar on this. I don't know the exact number. So enjoy this wine with spicy food. So think of Thai, Vietnamese, thinking of this of Asian foods, or even thinking about this in, say, in terms of Mexican foods. And so the Mexican cuisines, and there are many of them, it's actually not even thought about for wine, and it should be. And something that I cannot drink more than, say, one margarita. Yes, I'm a lightweight, but definitely I like to enjoy my meal with wine. And this is one variety that does quite well with that. And so the RS on this wine is really going to help to, I think, capture the experience of the flavor of the food, but also the wine will stand alone on its own. So this wine is, let me show you the label first, and of course you see it is a screw cap wine. I think good price point here from the Mosel. Back label for you to look at here. This is a 10% ABV wine. And so you can also think of this in terms of, say, Thanksgiving wine. So US Thanksgiving, maybe a very traditional Thanksgiving, you're going to have starters. I think people start off with some salmon and then start off with charcuterie and cheeses, enjoying trout dip and so forth. And I think there's a great way of calibrating that experience to enjoy this wine. At a $13.99 price point, it's meeting a lot of consumers out there who are really seeking a good value price point wine. And so I define that under $20. So this is a wine that is experiencing some really great attention. It's a third generation winemaker, Nik Weis. His name is in the name of the bottle itself. Vinification on this wine is the Riesling is gently crushed, then left to rest in a press for a short time to allow the components locked in the berry skin to be extracted by contact with the juice. The grapes are then pneumatically pressed. The juice is then left overnight to allow sediment to settle. Later, the clear juice will be racked into other tanks. Carefully controlled temperature and constant monitoring the fermentation are carried out. And the wine's fermentation is stopped by chilling the must, and then a light filtration happens after that. So this wine is, again, actually completely appreciable. I love what Nik Weis does. There's a number of wines that he is producing, the Riesling wines. In the Riesling, if you haven't had a great exposure, I think people, kind of steer clear of it, unfortunately, and not for a good reason. That is, if you know you're going to be tasting something that's off dry, it might be something you're going to pair with food. You're going to pair with a certain, maybe beginning courses or spicy foods. And I think that's completely understandable, right? And maybe with cheesecake, you can also do it at the end of the meal. And so there's different ways of expressing and enjoying this wine. So it's really the blue slate in the Mosel is really evident. So first, the nose on this wine is apple, pears, a bit of white peach notes, as well as honeysuckle and nutmeg. So when I use the notation of nutmeg, I'm thinking of maybe more cooler times of the year, and I think of, say, US Thanksgiving and winter meals throughout the entire experience and seasons. So here we go, next with the palate characterization. Very nice viscosity. That kiss of sweetness is so gentle. It's not cloying, it's not leaving you to reach for a glass of water, but it's ever so gentle, so completely enjoyable with food. So notes on this are a bit of tart apple, boss pear, nutmeg, and a hint of oyster shell for that salinity characterization. So it all comes together, and just you're enjoying this as the Riesling. There's nothing else it could be. And so it does have a slight hint of petrol characterization on the nose, which I didn't mention earlier, but I very much enjoy that, and it's something that I actually get excited about tasting. All the Riesling wines, and I just think Germany just produces so many beautiful Riesling wines that are almost uncomparable to any other region on the planet for the Riesling. And yes, there are other regions around the world that do produce beautiful Riesling wines, but you're finding the bulk of these wines produced in Germany. So the suggested retail price point in the United States is $13.99. So, more exciting wine to be tasting, great, experiences hopefully coming up for you and for all of us in this challenging year of 2020. So thank you for watching. Let's stay connected. You'll find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and WordPress. You'll also find me on my podcast, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Santé.